life's short, so you want to do as much as possible in the shortest time you can and have no regrets when you get older. So,
How do you find time to do all your passions?
you know, if you love the things you do and you love what you do, you will make time somehow. Yeah, I mean, when my wife and I before we got married, I would figure out ways to make time to go eat together and like, stuff like that. Um there is a thing that I did commit to when I turned 20. I said from the age 20, so I'm 31 right now, turning 32 this year. I've told myself from the age of when I turned 20, I said from 20 to 30, I will try anything and everything. I'm going to sacrifice this body and my time, and I'm not going to hang out. I'm not going to do anything dumb. I'm just gonna work and I'm just gonna try to build the biggest plate in the world. And so I did. I tried to build the widest plate. I failed at a lot of things. But then at the age of 30, I'm gonna start taking stuff out of those plates and start building them up. And so I've quit a lot of things actually once I turned 30, and just doing a few things, but doing them well. And from the
Mhm.
age 30 to 40, I've committed to just build those things. And from age 40 and up, just to give and teach as much as I can. So I'm in that building process now. I feel like I'm still in my prime and I have a lot to do. Yeah.
That's so awesome, man. I feel like I am on the exact same path. I am 24, soon 25,
There you go.
and
So
I've also just dedicated my 20s to try a lot of new things and become really smart and skilled. And then in my 30s, use those skills that I've and and the knowledge that I've gained to try and build something from there. That's awesome to hear. Did you
yes.
ever suffer from FOMO at all?
Never. The only one time you know what? Okay, I take that back. The only one, there are a few, but not that I can remember because I knew what I was doing. Like I knew the path I was going on. I have like a different backstory and reason why I function the way that I do.
Hmm.
But the one time was when my graduating class was graduating because I skipped 2 years of college to just try different things. And so I graduated college 2 years later. So I felt behind. Yeah, when I saw all my friends graduate. That's
Mm,
the only time I felt FOMO. But at the same time, that drove me even harder to be like, dang, I'm going to work just as hard and be ahead on top by the time I graduate. So I never wanted to go to school. I only went because my mom really wanted me to go, so I wanted to honor her.
mm,
But after I graduated, I didn't do anything related to my major, and I just did my own thing. Yeah.
yeah. That's awesome, man. I feel like one of the biggest challenges for young people in their 20s is definitely that FOMO, especially because of social media nowadays, where you
Yeah.
everything is right there. You see what your friends are doing on your phone. Um, yeah, I think that's a huge roadblock for people that they have to overcome if they want to do something um, extra, I suppose.
It is, especially like you mentioned it. This generation is the most overstimulated generation when it comes to like information and content, especially short form content on Instagram, YouTube Shorts. It's crazy. Yeah, right now.
Yeah, I have a really hard time trying to manage my time. Perhaps you could give me some relationship advice since you seem to be doing well.
Like, are you dating right now?
I am not. And the reason
Okay.
I am not is exactly because I've tried to devote my 20s to becoming smart and skilled. And so I've had a really hard time figuring out how I make space for that.
Mm. So this kind of will bleed into the thing that I'll share now is going to tie into my religious beliefs. So I'm a Christian. And so for me, it's never been about time management. I don't actually believe in time management. I think you could manage your time to its certain limits. For me, it's always been a priority management. And so for me, I've always there's four levels that I've prioritized. First is being my relationship with God being first, and then family being second, and then my like friends and community and ministries that I'm a part of third, and then fourth was my work. So work has always been last. I do spend the most amount of time in my work though, but that doesn't mean it's my priority. The
Mm,
same like exactly for the very reason once my son was born, I had to let go of YouTube for a bit. I was like, I want to create YouTube videos, but at this time, I'm going to prioritize family. And so, in that sense, I would say, I don't know if if you're a Christian or not, but you know, what for me, my relationship with God has really rooted my foundation in like how to live my life. And so thinking about family has always been a big part of my life. Like, who am I gonna marry? Who am I gonna date? Like, those are things that I thought about growing up. And every time I had an interest in a girl, I had to ask myself, like, is this someone that I can see the mother of my future children? Because I wanted kids. Is this somebody who will, you know, not cheat on me or not be angry at me or will not abuse me? And as long as they didn't do those, you know, they none of no red flags were there. That's how I found my wife, and so she was my first and my only girlfriend, and we got married. Yeah, so there were a lot of girls that I've got interested in and like was curious about, but then if it didn't line up with my values, it was a no go for me. So
Mm.